Well, good morning, everyone. We're so excited to be here. I'm Maggie Milnamow. I'm the CRO of Insider. This is Rich. He is the Associate Vice President of Media at AT&T and AT&T Business, where he leads digital media strategy. A little bit more about Rich and I. Rich has 3 under 5. That's 3 children under 5 years old. I have 3 under 3. So we are taking all the sleep training tips on top of trading media and digital strategy advice. Rich and I have also been able to partner together in a couple of ways because we both believe in the power of storytelling and what storytelling can do for brands, especially B2B brands trying to break through and really create authentic connection with audiences. We've been doing that in a couple of ways. Just this summer, AT&T sponsored Insider's 5G playbook, demystifying 5G trends and helping businesses understand what 5G can do for them. We also launched this series, The United States of Automation, helping our audience understand how automation looks in industries all over the country. And that's actually been nominated as a finalist for the 2023 OMA Awards. We find out if we win tonight. We are going to talk about all of this and more. Rich, let's get into it. Thank you for your time. What does it mean to you when we talk about telling more human stories within the lens of helping communities understand business and technology and automation and AI? Why is it important to think about those stories through a more human lens to you?
Good morning. You guys hear me? Great. So thanks for having me. I think as an industry, there was a moment where we almost forgot, right? Data, decision, action, rinse and repeat. And there was a moment where we forgot at the other end side of the decision was a human, was a person, a consumer, a prospect. So I think it's great that we're seeing a much bigger focus come back into storytelling and the humanity of advertising. For us, storytelling and technology is intricately woven together for what we do as a business. And when you put the customer first, the technology must serve our ability to service customers better and faster. When great technology comes around, it enhances the experience. It doesn't get in the way. The moment it does, the equation is off.
Yeah. How do you think about what success looks like there? Because it's obviously different. We talk a lot about brand awareness versus lead generation, how to find the right mix and balance of that. When you're telling stories, what does success look like to you? And how do you think about how that evolves over time with the stories you're telling?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine we're still having the conversation about the value of brand, right?
Yeah.
The capitalization of long-term growth over short-term returns. Whenever we talk about lead generation, I think that's great branding, but a slight misnomer. The demand has already been generated by the time you get to those kind of lower level tactics.
Yeah.
Trying to convert. So really it's about demand capture and can you capture the demand? Now, where does that demand come from? It's driven by your brand, by your awareness, what you've driven up front to get consumers into the consideration set. So I think when we look at success, for us with storytelling, it really comes about that connection. So with the US of automation, we saw significant increases in benchmarks for watch time. We saw brand I trust in brand studies kind of really jump for all of the prospects and the people we met through that content. So we were super happy with it. And it felt like the connection was really made. And fingers crossed for tonight. Yeah,
fingers crossed. So spending more time with your brand. Another thing that we've talked a lot about is how brands are innovating right now in this space and how that grows and changes over the years ahead. We've talked about virtual reality, 360 video storytelling, augmented reality, vertical video. How do you think about innovation in formats and how that can be meaningful to you, and just like innovation more broadly and what's exciting to you there?
Yeah, it's an incredibly exciting time to be part of our industry, right? We're so lucky to get to do what we do. I would argue that when it comes to advertising and innovation, AR and VR, we're seeing a dramatic change in the distribution, and we're seeing a dramatic change in the tools we have to engage and convert. But the fundamentals of advertising really are similar as they have been for a while. Objective, audience, message, activation. And when you forget those fundamentals, you have the risk of turning innovation into a shiny object that, whilst exciting, doesn't necessarily deliver. If you think a few years ago, how many of us here had that kind of urgent message of we need an NFT strategy, right? There is a huge application for blockchain, decentralized technology, and all of that. But I would argue back then, we forgot the fundamentals, and we put out projects that today are either ignored or, in some cases, a liability where, you know, they've been hijacked with racist language or used in scams to take consumers' money. So fundamentals are really important. I don't think AI, AR, VR, any of that is a fly-by-night shiny object, but really, for us to effectively use it, we can't forget the fundamentals of advertising, of what we're trying to achieve with the dollars and we spend and the time we spend doing these kind of things. So, yeah, it's I think just be careful you don't buy into the hype too much, and really think through what it's doing for your brand and how you use it to drive things forward.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. As you think about the metrics and data that you watch in the industry, whether it's scale, time spent, you know, as you consider the partners that you want to work with and what they can do for you, whether it's in the business space or for the broader AT&T brand, what are the key things that you look at, like on a monthly or quarterly basis? What lists are you watching? You know, what do you look out for?
The list is pretty broad. I think we're looking for partners who want to go on the journey with us. As a media guy, I spend a lot of time thinking about customer experience. In different platforms, we have different experiences, right? So sometimes we have a second in a feed, and someone's doom scrolling their way to the bottom of it. Other times, we have a bit more time. So when we're looking at different partners, it's really about the experience they're offering the consumer, and then how we can fit our brand into it. So where we have more time to tell a nuanced story, like we did on US Automation, perhaps we bring in people, we bring in the users, the doers, the people who actually use it, bring in some authenticity. When we have a second in feed, we want to be much more prescriptive in that message we're putting across, so we have to be a bit more focused. But it's, I think, the integration of people into the communication is very important. But when we look at partners, it's really about making sure the journey is there together and we can go to the right place.
Yeah. I know we talked a lot about this in the series that we did together. And one of the things that we tried to figure out is, how do you make automation, how does that translate to our audience? You know, it can feel kind of dry. You can kind of like make some assumptions about what you think it could do for your business. But if you see people and how it affects them and how it can improve their lives, there's a lot of benefit to that in helping businesses understand that and what it can do for them. How do you think about the humans in the stories? Like, how do you identify them? How do you guys think about who to feature and what stories to tell when you're trying to do that?
Yeah, so I think in the US of Automation case, it's hard to kind of forget the amount of accelerated transformation we saw during the pandemic, right? The way we worked, how we connected with family and friends. Does anyone miss Zoom trivia nights? No, just me.
I like them too.
Yeah, a good pub quiz, but change is scary. So when we approached the US of Automation, we wanted to address that. We wanted to address the trepidation of change with our customers. We wanted to address confusion of application of the technology, and we wanted to inspire businesses on their transformation change. So when we think about the brief for the US of Automation, it was really to reinforce AT&T as a change maker a leader of transformation, but built on the backbone of a trusted, secure, reliable network. And we wanted to do it through branded storytelling with a business lens that was culturally relevant. And what we ended up with was a story of technology told through the eyes of the human operator. So it could connect the story, tell it, but it was also interesting. It was interesting to see how businesses were engaging with their transformation, the challenges, and inspiring, how they're overcoming those challenges and how it's improving the way they work. So again, we saw some great results. I think we really got very close to great or perfect with the way we manage storytelling and technology. And fingers crossed, if anyone's voting for it tonight, then please do vote for us.
As you think about, the years ahead, so let's teleport to 2028, a couple of years away. Everything goes right in the stories that you're trying to tell. Where is AT&T? How do consumers, how do businesses think of them? Like, where ultimately do you want to see the brand grow in the next couple of years, if everything goes right to Rich's plans?
I don't think it's my plan, but for us, our purpose is connecting changes everything, and who knows what the future holds. But I don't know if anyone here has seen the AT&T 5G helmet spot that was released over the weekend. Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff. And we believe connecting changes everything, and this was a really great example of technology providing that connection from coach to player, helping a team be better at what they do. Yep. So I think that's really a kind of flag in the ground of where we want to get to and where we want to keep to. And that doesn't mean we start selling football helmets with AR screens in them, but it does mean we're connected to our purpose, we're focused on our consumer and driving the business forward.
Yep, yep. Great. Okay, well, we've talked a lot about some of the things you're thinking about, some of the most important objectives over the next couple of years, and why a human-centric and human-first approach can break through to audiences for B2B marketers. But now I'm going to spotlight you as a working dad, as a father of 3, and as a father of a young child, a 11-month-old. What is your advice for working parents? How do you think about prioritization in your everyday workday? I imagine there are a lot of young parents in the room. I know there are a lot of parents in the room. Give us some free advice here.
I'm by no means an expert. You have to talk to my wife for that. But I'm a lucky guy. I got 3 wonderful girls, a hero of a wife. A few weeks ago, I was talking with some of my neighbors in the street, and one of the ladies said, when I had my kid, I had less time for maternity than you've had for paternity. And another lady chimed up and said, you think that's bad? I had to take vacation. And it's astounding how far we've progressed. And so I really am a lucky guy that I got to spend time with the kids. But balance is something I struggle with, as I think a lot of us probably do. So I tend to focus on presence, right? Being there and disconnecting. Yeah. So when I'm at work, I'm at work and I'm focused on the business. When I'm at home, the devices go away. Yep. The focus on the kid. And you're not always successful, but you try. I mean, I'm sure we've all heard this kind of a variation of this, but we're all juggling balls and tons of things in life. Some of them are made of rubber, and when you drop them, they bounce. Others are made of glass, and you drop them and shatter. So your career is a rubber ball. It'll bounce back. It's devastating to miss that promotion, that job that you knew was yours, right? Someone stole it from you, but it's devastating, but you'll bounce back. To change the analogy a bit, I've kicked enough footballs, soccer balls that is, not American footballs, through my mum's window over the years to know you can't put the glass back together without cracks. So if you're thinking about how you find balance, how you prioritize different areas of your life, I would say 1, you got to be intentional. Life gets in the way of life, so it's not just going to happen for you. It won't just all fit into place. Be intentional about the time you're spending in different areas. And 2, I guess, be present when you are doing it. Focus on what you have at hand and do the best you can while you're there.
So well said. Rich, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to all of you. It's great to see you guys.